Welcome to another edition of Sports Unfiltered. We've not been here for some time, really.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody
Yeah.
has been busy, a lot of movements, and trying to put things together to try and make the channel better and more enjoyable for everyone, really. So it has kept us away for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, it really has, and the actions in the
Yeah,
Afcon,
yeah,
and then we had to do a lot of analysis. We had to
yeah,
move from place to place to
yeah,
ensure that everything is in order.
yeah.
But what a time to be alive, especially
it's
as a Manchester
it's a
United
great
fan.
time to be alive as a fan of Manchester United because Ruben Amorim, you're a fan of Amorim and his tactics, but he's gone now, and Mikel Carrick seems to have cracked the code for
Yeah.
United.
So, firstly, that United Strand guy that said he had not cut his hair for more than 400
Yeah.
days, I bought a clipper for him. And by the time we play our next two games versus
Tottenham Hotspurs and
Tottenham, and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I think is it West Ham or
Tottenham
thereabouts?
and
Yeah,
yeah.
he's going to have a haircut. That's
Okay.
number one.
Mm,
And number two, like I said, these guys are professional footballers.
mm,
They cannot keep us in the prehistoric era.
yeah.
They are not troglodytes.
Mm,
They are professional footballers who should be able to understand the coach's instruction.
yeah.
I'm a very good fan of Ruben Amorim, but he's no longer the coach of Manchester United.
Mm,
I have to get behind the new manager, Michael
yeah.
Carrick,
Yeah.
who was a Manchester United servant through and through, who has the Manchester United DNA and is currently delivering the results.
Mm,
So I'm happy as a Manchester United lately, and like it's trending on social media. If Manchester United is leading you by 2 goals to 1 and they give you
mm,
an opportunity to equalize, don't do, because it's going to get your fans
yeah.
heartbroken.
Heartbroken. Yeah. All right. So I'm really we'll get back to Michael Carrick, but somehow I believe that like you said, they are professional footballers. They are paid to do a particular job, and they should do that job to the best of their abilities. Maybe somehow there was a misunderstanding of of the instruction from the coach or the formation of tactics, and sometimes you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. So somehow I feel like Amorim should have found a way to get the players to work with his plan or adjust his plan to suit the players until he's able to get in the kind of players that he wants. But of course, you know that sometimes as a manager in the Premier League or any major league, you have to sometimes stand your ground and ensure that you do what you think is best for you. Like a Guardiola, for example, he has stuck to his onions. This is what I want to do, and every player has to fall in line. Do you think Amorin has that amount of credit in the bank to be that stubborn?
It did not. That's the main issue.
Mm.
You know, Manchester United had been a successful club
For years, yeah,
for more than 20 years. Alex
yeah,
Ferguson was there.
yeah.
So and then when Alex Ferguson left, we had David Moyes,
Mm.
Louis Van Gaal, we had Ryan Giggs as an interim coach, we
Yeah.
had Ralf Ragnick who played the 4-2-2-2 formation,
Mm.
we had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we even had Michael Carrick
Carry
on
coming for a
on
few
an
games, yeah,
interim basis. You
yeah.
understand? So Ruben Amorim, in fact, if he had won the Europa League against Tottenham Hotspur,
Of course,
he could
yeah.
have had
Yeah,
he
the
could have
kind
had
of in the
enough
bank, yeah,
leverage in the
yeah,
bank,
yeah.
but he did not have that leverage, and the fact
Mm.
that he was antagonizing the Manchester United board
Yeah.
on press. And if you looked at the 2 games he played before then, he just had academy players on the bench.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing now that Manchester United are ready to splash big in the midfield, on the midfield,
Mm.
come
Summer,
the summer break.
yeah.
You understand the point? So I think what he had was that he lacked the tools to actually, do what he wanted to do.
Mm.
But that's all in the past now. We have a coach that is able to, perform and bring out the best in the players. And we have to be honest with ourselves. So many of the things these players are doing now were instilled by Ruben Amorim.
Mm.
Because Ruben Amorim is a very mechanical coach who wants to dominate in the middle.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And if you see what Manchester United players are doing now, you see that, okay, this is basically like Michael Carrick transmogrified um, the tactics to suit the players, and they actually took from a lot from what they had learned under Ruben Amorim, whether you like it or not. But like I said again, that's all in the past. What we are, as Manchester United, are currently saying now is that we are finally back in the title race because we are just 6 points behind City.
Mm.
Arsenal are like 12 points away from Manchester United, 6 points
Okay.
away from City, but they've not proven to be a team that could actually win it. Because they keep faltering. The last 3 seasons they came
They
second.
faltered, yeah.
Yeah, and then this season, this is the biggest indictment on the Arsenal team. They do not play. In fact, they don't play a structured kind of football. You don't know if they are a transition team. You don't know if they are a possession-based team. They just want to get corners and then tramp the goalkeepers and score. That is not a long-term plan. I think that is the kind of a plan that you employ in a game that is already that's not going your way.
Yeah.
But when you employ it week by week, it's not a sort. For me, it's getting them the results now.
Yeah.
And like we said it at the beginning of the season, that when it was Liverpool and Arsenal that were going through this patch of form, and I said if it's working for them, fine. But when it does not work, they are going to go through it. And it happened to Liverpool.
Yeah.
So if you have a team like Arsenal who wants to keep on, relying on these things, it's going to hurt them in the long run. That's why for a team like Manchester United, we still believe we're in the title race, even though we are 12 points behind Arsenal. You understand the point? So if Arsenal could be a bit more consistent, they can play even if it's defensive football and then you score via counter attacks. We know okay, this is your tactics. The last game they won by 4-0. The first 2 goals were from corner kicks, even though one was an own goal. So the other 2 goals were purely academic, if you ask me.
Yeah. Okay. Quickly. Report yesterday says that the FA has awarded the goal to Noni Madueke. But in defense of Arteta, and this is not me trying to be a spokesperson for Mikel Arteta or for the Arsenal players. In defense of the coach, Anthony Gordon of Newcastle did say that for him the Champions League has been more exciting than the Premier League this season, and that's simply because in the Premier League, most of the lower teams, and if you agree with me, we have about 14 or 15 teams that you may tag as lower teams, right? If you take out the big 6. Now, most of those teams come into games set up to defend. They don't come out to attack against you. They set up to defend. So somehow, because they play in a low block, if you as a team who likes to play attacking football, if you don't find another way to win, another way to break that low block and win, you may find yourself on the end of a lot of draws in the season. Last season, Arsenal had about 14 draws. That's the only reason why they did not win the league, because they won more games than Liverpool. So I think, and this is me just thinking from watching the games, I think that what Arteta has done so far is find another way to beat these teams. So when they come with a low block, all right, fine. Since they are coming with a low block, they are not attacking you. Let's find another way to get the results. And if you check all of these games we referred to, there's none of these games that you will say Arsenal was completely dominated. They still get possession. But some of these teams set up in such a way that they don't come out to attack you. And so you must find another way to win. But I'll agree and say that the Arsenal attack this season has been very poor. Bukayo Saka, Gyökeres, Martinelli, Odegaard, they've not looked their best. Okay. So I think Arteta still has a lot of work to do. But in the Champions League, which could be a defense for Arteta, when they play teams that come out to attack, they destroy them.
True.
Yeah, Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, you see. In fact, so somehow, it's because the Premier League is really harder than this team, so you have to find another way to get results.
Against Bayern Munich, Arsenal actually played like the underdog.
Yeah,
they played the way Manchester United played against them.
Exactly.
And in defense of the Premier League, a few years ago, I read a paper where Barcelona and Real Madrid FC had CF rather. Yeah. They had 48% of the Spanish league revenue.
Yes.
You can't get that
in the Premier League, of course.
Even 5 clubs cannot get 48% of the revenue.
Yeah.
The Premier League is such a decentralized league that teams can come from relegation and buy 14 players, and buy 18 players, and buy 13 players. Yeah. So that gives them a certain level of, that financial capability
to compete with the big teams.
They can compete to an extent with the big teams.
Mm.
Yeah, Manchester United bought Cunha Mbeumo for around between 60 to 70 million pounds.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that even Sunderland could have afforded them.
Of course. Yeah.
You get the point.
Yes.
That's how easy it is to spend money in the Premier League. So when you're able to spend money, you get the best, the most qualitative players to actually play in your team. I'm telling you for a fact that there is no Manchester City player that would go from Manchester City presently to Hoffenheim
It's not possible.
in Bayern Munich.
Of course,
I'm sorry, in Germany.
In Germany, yeah.
But you had Granit Xhaka, who was the best midfielder for Bayern Leverkusen, coming to Sunderland that just came from relegation.
Yeah.
So the financial parity is very, very different from in England to other.
So I think basically that's why it's more difficult in the Premier League. And so, like you said, once your attacking players are not firing on all cylinders, you have to find another way to get results. And I think that's probably what is wrong with Guardiola this season. From last season till now, Man City have not found another way to win
Haaland
games.
is beginning to look like Højlund. You get the point. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, when Haaland does not score, you know, he's a poacher, he's a very deadly finisher. So when he does not score, it takes away a lot from his shine.
Yeah.
But I do hope he finds his feet, because he's the captain of he's the perpetual captain of my FPL team. But then there's something that we don't do enough. You know, we tend to over criticize, and we don't give honor where honor is due. You know, when Chelsea sacked Maresca, I didn't feel right about it, because I believe that Maresca had done enough to at least earn a complete season. You know, even when Manchester United sacked Ruben Amorim, who is my guy, I felt a bit, I felt bad towards it. But their replacements so far, Rosenoir and Carrick have been very excellent. What do you think about that?
Yes, I remember Chelsea fans referring to Rosenoir as a glorified PE teacher. It
was really disrespectful.
Very disrespectful. Even though this guy was the manager of Strasbourg, and his record was pretty decent. If you compare him to an Arteta had no CV basically. Than somebody said that Arteta's job was to place cones for Guardiola in training, but somehow he got the Arsenal job. So for me, Rosenoir and Amorim had bigger credentials coming into their various jobs.
Yes.
Sincerely, right? Mikel Carrick, yes, his interim stay at Man United was pretty good. He didn't really lose a game in his interim stint.
And drew one.
So
beat Man City.
Maresca's handling of Chelsea, I think it has to do with sometimes the relationship with the board for Maresca and even Amorim. So they had to go. And then the guys they've brought in, Carrick has done a great job.
He has.
Even though I will want to say it's new manager bounce.
3 games.
Guardiola. He has beaten Guardiola, he has beaten Arteta, and he has beaten.
And he won't even when Fulham equalized, he was unfazed.
He has beaten Marco Silva, who is also a very experienced.
It was as if he knew Manchester United
Premier League manager. So for me, I'll still give Carrick a few more games to see how he's able to continue to keep this. For Rosenoir, he lost to Arsenal at Stamford Bridge in the Carabao Cup semi-final game. Chelsea fans were not very impressed. But somehow he has been able to, I think he's getting the team together. The comeback against West Ham was a fantastic one for me. To be 2 goals down, and then to make the kind of subs that changed the game for me.
It showed the understanding. But on a lighter note, have you noticed that our producer is a Chelsea fan, and he dresses like Rosenoir? They even use the same kind of glasses. Much respect to our producer. I think about I don't know if they have the same football philosophy, but from what I've seen, Rosenoir was a player that played at the highest level. And this is something, and so he understands how to cater for the players, care for the players, and actually coach them. But like Arrigo Sacchi said in the 90s, you don't have to be a horse to know how to make a horse shoe. I don't think you have to be a footballer to make a great coach. Personally, I'm not a professional footballer, but I hope to be even a manager of the Super Eagles. Someday, someday soon. You get the point. So I don't want it to come up later that because I didn't play football professionally, I don't
Yeah.
know what to do.
Yeah.
But it's good to actually have a coach, and that's one of the areas Amorim excelled. He was a professional footballer who played at the highest level.
Yeah.
He even played for the Selecao of Portugal.
Portugal. Yeah.
Yes. So he knew how to manage these players. You understand? And even when he left, I think around 22 players thereabouts sent tributes to him, which is not common for Xabi Alonso was sacked
At
at
Madrid.
Madrid, and you didn't see players eulogizing him.
Yeah.
So it shows that something actually there's a connection between the players
And
the coach.
Amorim.
But I'm to be honest with you, I do think Arsenal, they have to, still on the matter, they have to look for other. Their forward lines have been uninspiring. If the league ends today, I'm telling you for a fact that there's no Arsenal player who would be in there's no Arsenal forward who would be in the team of the year. And that is like, for a team that is probably 6 points at the top, that's too bad. And that's one. And two, something is brewing at United and Chelsea. And as a Manchester United fan who lives in Nigeria, you know, Chelsea is our rival. If you look at it, you know, you understand. So I don't want to comment Chelsea FC, but you have to give honor where honor is due. Rosenoir is cooking up something, and I hope that he's behind Carrick, whatever he's cooking.
Okay. Finally, on this issue, there's another question I'd love to raise, but on this issue, I think that Arteta needs to also, as a person, work on himself and get better. He needs to learn to play with a striker somehow, because if you look at a striker like Gyökeres, for example, there was a time where there was this rumor, you know, in the media space, that Saka may have an issue with Gyökeres, because you could see obvious passes to Gyökeres, Saka not doing that. Odegaard, same thing. So I think that Gyökeres coming in kind of threw the team off balance, and they are trying to get used to having that personality in front, who is the top striker doing the job. They are used to a Jesus or a Kai Havertz who can come into the midfield and join in all of this. But quickly, do you think that I think really that Michael Carrick, for example, being a former Man United player, being someone who has succeeded at the club, who has seen the glory days of the club,
and he's a fan.
And a fan, it's easier for him to transmit that energy to the players. Because today you're seeing a Kobe Manu or a Fernandez play better and with more momentum than they ever did under Ruben Amorim. I think that he's able to transmit that energy and transmit the expectation of a United fan to the players, and that has helped the team to become better.
For now, I would say for now, because it's still too very early.
Early days, yes.
Yeah, Michael Carrick has, he has just coached 3 games.
Yeah.
His first spell was also 3 games, and he got 2 wins and a draw. Now he's got 3 straight wins. But I do think that we have to give him credit, because during the short time that he has taken over, he has really done well. You understand? So I do think that like Rosenoir said when he took over at Chelsea, he said, I used to be a Manchester United fan, now I want to be
a
Chelsea fan. You have to be a lover of what you do. You have to love what you do.
Yeah.
You have to feel the pains of the fun. And that's another area Amorim excelled. He knew how to talk to the press. He was very charismatic. And he always communicated to the fans that he's feeling what they are feeling. You know, so when you have somebody who's actually going through what you are, you know, it's one thing to be a leader. It's another thing to be a leader that feels what your followers are feeling. You cannot tell us to practice austerity measures, for example, while you are relaxing,
living lavishly.
Yes, you are living the la vida life. So, but when you have someone who's asking you to live the austerity measure, in fact, it's not even asking you are seeing that he is living the austerity. You know, he's taking the austerity measures. It's better. It's easier to relate with you. But like I said, and I'm going to stand by it. I just hope that I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I hope I'm right this time. I do think something is cooking in Old Trafford, something is cooking at Stamford Bridge, and I just hope that if Carrick is able to achieve top 3, he should be given the job on a permanent.
Okay, so while something is cooking at all of these stadiums, let's quickly go to the transfer market and congratulate Nigerian winger midfielder Arteta,
Yeah,
whichever you want
our
to.
best player, in my opinion, Ademola
It was the
Lookman.
best, one of the best players at the they just concluded AFCON
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah.
Ademola Lookman played for Fulham, played for
Atalanta.
Atalanta, and
You
now
know, when I heard he
he has
was
signed
going
for
to,
Atletico Madrid in Spain.
yeah,
Big move.
when I heard he was going to Fenerbahce, I was like, I was pissed off
Yeah,
because I just think Osimhen is top 5 centre forward in the world,
yeah.
and he's playing at Galatasaray.
Mm.
You know, why is he not playing for Liverpool, Chelsea,
No,
Manchester
Arsenal.
City,
Yeah,
Arsenal,
yeah.
even Manchester United?
Of
Because
course,
Manchester United and Liverpool went shopping for attackers. In
Arsenal
this,
did the same
you
thing too.
get
Yeah,
the point.
yeah.
So you know, so I don't like the fact that our best players will be playing in Galatasaray,
Mm.
in Turkey, in Norway, in
Yeah,
Switzerland.
yeah.
Then you have Brazilians, like I always said, and this is an argument that I always have with Dr. Charles, our producer, that we if we are comparing, we can't keep saying all fingers are not equal. How about
Mm.
we be the longest finger? Or how about we compare ourselves to the best teams?
Yeah.
You understand the point? So we
Mm.
want to compare ourselves with the Selecao of Brazil. We want to have our best players playing in Real Madrid, playing in Barcelona, playing in PSG.
Man City and
You
yeah,
understand?
yeah,
Manchester
big
United,
teams. Yeah.
Chelsea, Arsenal.
Mm.
Because the quality of coaching that they will receive, and then the fact that you are playing for Arsenal, you do not want to lose against Botswana.
Of course.
You understand? There's this
Yeah.
mentality that comes from playing in a
Playing a
very big.
big team. Yeah.
You understand the point?
Yeah.
So him playing for the best, for the third best team in
In
Spain,
Spain. Yeah.
is going to, elevate his. Is going to elevate his standing.
Yeah.
You know, his ranking before the world. It's going
Mm.
to elevate his market price. It's going to elevate the way we see him,
Yeah.
and it's going to elevate his game. It's a better. I think enough respect to the coach at the Fenerbahce, but I think Simeone will do a better job guiding
Yeah.
Ademola Lookman.
So Diego Simeone is of course one of the. It's not the best, but one of the best coaches in the world. And to get the chance to play under such a manager can be a blessing.
In a very big club like
And a
Atletico
big club
Madrid.
like that could be and of course you are playing the Champions League regularly. You are sure of getting to maybe the last 8 or even the last
You
4
get,
sometimes
yeah.
if you are lucky. So Atletico Madrid have gotten Nigerian forward Ademola Lookman. Great move if you ask me. Like I say, we hope that we get more Nigerian players who can get this kind of move. Someone like an Akko Adams is doing well in the La Liga also. Chukwueze is doing well for Fulham himself. It will be and Calvin Bassey unfortunately could not get us the needed points for Fulham on Sunday. But of course, we want to see Nigerian players play at the highest level so that the Super Eagles can perform better. Because if your
Yes,
players perform at the
yes,
highest level, when they come to the Super Eagles, you get better performances.
yes. That's
Yeah.
that's
Mm.
correct. You are
Yeah.
correct on that ground.
So
We,
we hope that Ademola Lookman has a great time. Of course, we will be supporting Atletico Madrid now and hoping
yeah.
that he can get a fantastic stint
So
with the club.
so now before we go, I really
Yeah.
want to appreciate two of our top fans so far,
Okay.
Zion Osenege and Kosemani Okpemipo.
Kosemani Okpemipo.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do.
they are always giving us positive feedbacks, negative
Mm.
feedbacks about what we are doing,
Yeah.
and it's really interesting to hear from them.
Yeah.
And I really want to give you guys a shout out, and I want to really thank you for being a very big
Supporter of Sports
supporter of this
Unfiltered.
family, of
Mm.
this Sports Unfiltered. And then, yeah, kudos to you guys. Thank you for being a part of us. And for the rest of you, please don't forget to like, to subscribe, and then to share this page with your friends so we continue to communicate.
Okay, so I think that's the show for today. Thank you for being a part of it. Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, and of course Newcastle in the Carabao Cup semi-final during the midweek. We hope that it's going to be a great game. And of course, when we come back for the analysis for the show for the weekend games, of course, I will be able to discuss some of those games and bring you all that happened in those games. Thank you for being a part of the show. We'll see you again.